In today's class, we are going to start Terraform again. Like in last session, we have seen 3 days of Terraform, or 2 days of Terraform, 2 days, right? So in today's session, like I'm going to discuss about the most important topic of Terraform. Like it is going to be most important, locals as well as workspaces. Where it is, purple Rakesh. Most probably like Monday is going to be your last, I think so. But okay, let's see. Region it is California now. Okay. Go back. 1 second. I'm just creating the server. Give me a second. Right. Okay, so we can start it now. So in today's class, I'm gonna start about Terraform locals now. What is the name of the concept? So first of all, like what is the meaning of local and why we need to use means like, for example, if you remember in Jenkins, we had defined some global variables, right? Have you defined or not? Global variable means like once you define the value, wherever you want, you can use a variable, correct or not? Here also local will do the same thing. For example, if you define a variable once and if you want to use it wherever you want, so in that case, locals are going to helpful for you. So 10:45 a.m. right? Everyone is. Let me install Terraform. Already you know like how to install Terraform, right? So I already have the commands here. So let me run the commands here. And we already have some access keys and secret keys. So I'm going to use the same access key and same secret key. Go for downloads. In downloads, we have the access key here. In last class, which keys we have used it? Let me check which IAM user I have. So Raham we have. So I'm use the Raham. I'm gonna use the Raham access keys and secret keys. Access key done. So then secret key. So I want to create info on AP South 1. That means on my Mumbai region only, output I want on table format. TABELE, right? So VM.aws configure. So here the spelling is wrong. Right. So then create the directory Terraform cd Terraform. So now write the main.tf. So like here in today's session, I'm going to tell you the concept of variables. Okay. But before that, you know already how to write the code, right? Terraform code. Can anyone tell me the code? First of all, which block? Provider. Provider is AWS. Next. Region. In which region I'm going to create infra? AP South 1. Next. And here resource. I'm going to write AWS instance. It is the label, block label. This is what you can call as resource block. This is called as label of the block. First label and second label is 1. Next here, I am writing some AMI. I'll take the existing AMI only. And one more thing, whatever the concept we are discussing now, so definitely you're going to implement this concept on real time. Whenever you go for interview, especially for Terraform I'm speaking about, definitely they are going to ask you about the concepts like workspace. Workspace is going to be the very first question from the Terraform point of view. AMI next to instance, type t2 dot micro. Next to tags. How to give the tags? Just to give tags and give name. Here name should be, I'm giving it as dev server. Which server? Correct or not, sir? Now, for example, here I'm giving dev server. For example, if I want to create dev bucket, name should be dev bucket. If I want to create the VPC in the name of dev VPC, correct or not, sir? So now in today's session, first of all, I'm gonna explain you the concept like this. Whenever I open the pane here, if you remember, we discussed AWS VPC concept, right? Correct or not? So first of all, we will create one VPC. Inside this VPC, we will create one subnet. Inside the subnet, what we will create again? What we will create? EC2 instance. This is what I'm going to show you. So in today's session, first of all, I'll create VPC. Inside this VPC, I'll create one subnet. Inside that subnet, I'll create what? EC2. Already EC2 code, you know. How to write VPC code means no need to worry. Already code will be on your Terraform official documentation. But I'll write it for you. I don't copy paste. Why? Because if I copy paste, you learn nothing. Even you can do copy paste, right? Correct or not? So I'll teach you how to write the code. First block is resource block. What you are going to create now? AWS VPC. Correct or not, sir? Here label name 1 I am giving for this one. Sir, if I want to create one VPC, I need to give CIDR block or not, sir? CIDR block 10.0.0.0/16 is the range I am giving. Next, inside tags, what I can define? I can define the name. Name is equal to, I am giving it as dev VPC. First of all, resource block. What I am creating? With label name. To create VPC, CIDR block. Without CIDR, can we create VPC? I am creating 10.series. Tags. I am creating the dev VPC. Inside VPC, I want to create the subnet now. By basing the above reference, tell me the code for subnet. First of all, resource. AWS underscore subnet. Then label name, I'm giving 2. Label name is my choice. I can give whatever I want. Next here, first of all, I need to write again CIDR block. For subnet also we need to define CIDR or not, sir? I am giving the CIDR, but I'll change the block range here. So I'll put here 1. I need to give next name or not, sir? Now tell me tags is equal to then name is equal to dev subnet. So now you have VPC. Inside this VPC, you have the correct or not, sir? Is the code able to understand or not? It's very simple code, right? Very minimal code I have written for the integration. Fine. You write the code for VPC. You write the code for, and again you write the code for EC2. Sir, you write the codes, but have I said this subnet must be on this VPC? Have I said to anywhere here? Just write the code only, right? And have I said this server must be on inside this subnet? Then without this, how can it is going to work, sir, for you? I wrote the code, but I haven't said connect to that subnet only and connect to that VPC only. I haven't said, right? For that purpose, here I am going to connect the things now. How I am going to connect the thing means, sir, this subnet must need to attach to this VPC or not, sir? So I am providing here VPC ID subnet. Whenever I execute AWS VPC with the label name 1, you will get one ID attached to that ID. Why? Because to attach the subnet here, I don't have VPC, right? But I am telling to subnet here. What I am telling subnet, take the VPC. Which VPC? Whenever I execute the AWS VPC with label name 1, that will provide one ID for you. Go and attach for that VPC ID. Now this subnet is directly going to attach to this VPC or not, sir? That is how to attach this one. And one more thing, you can define here availability zone. Subnet availability zone also you can define. How to define availability zone? Availability zone. I want this subnet on AP South 1A. I want this subnet on AP South. If you don't define, it will take default subnet. Remember, this is optional. If you want to define subnet on particular area, use availability zone. If you don't want, just leave it like it. Sir, now inside VPC, am I creating my subnet or not, sir? Now inside subnet, I want to attach my VPC EC2 or not, sir? I am telling that take subnet ID EC2. Currently, I don't have subnet. But whenever I execute AWS subnet with label name 2, I'll get one ID, use that ID, attached to that ID. Currently, I don't have to give you. But whenever I execute the AWS subnet block with 2, that will give one ID. Please go and attach for that ID. Now, automatically, this EC2 is going to search for this ID. This block will give ID or not, sir, once it is created. My server is going to attach for that subnet now. Is it clear for you how I am joining the resources? I don't have resources, but I am telling to use the IDs of the block. So this is how you need to attach the VPC to subnet and EC2 to subnet. I am giving it as label name 3. Is the concept clear, sir, first of all? So now what I'm going to do is, I'll implement the labels. Like till now, I haven't implemented the locals block. Locals block, how it is going to work means, sir, I'll tell you. For example, you are creating infrastructure for which environment now? Dev. Next, if you create test environment, VPC must be test VPC. Subnet must be. And again, EC2 must be. Again, if you create for production, prod VPC, prod subnet, prod EC2. Correct or not? Values are changing or not, sir? For that purpose, instead of changing multiple times, I am using the locals block. Local block means you can define the value 1 and you can use for multiple times. What is the exact meaning of local? We can define the value only once, but we can use it for multiple times. Like, let me write this one. Let me maximize this one for you. So I'm writing here Terraform locals. It's a block. Use it to define the values. We can define the value once and use it for multiple times. Correct or not? That doesn't mean we can define only one value. You can define multiple values. It is not restricted to only one value. You can define how many values you want. But once you define a value, right, you can call the value at any time. It is a block used to define the values. We can define the value once and we can use it for. So here what I am telling now. So environment is equal to, I am giving it as dev. What I am giving? Sir, here I am gonna give name like this. Take one variable $. I am writing this. If you want a name, go for local block. Do you have local block or not, sir? In local block, do you have env or not, sir? What is the value of local.env? So dev VPC. Now again, if you want to give name for subnet, I'm going to tell to subnet like this, subnet. If you want name now, go for local block. Which block? Inside local block, you have the env tag. There is a value called dev. So this value is going to be dev subnet now. And again for server also, instead of dev here, I'll put local.env. That means, sir, here currently local.env value is dev. But future, if you want to create testing infrastructure, can you put testing here? In future, if you want to create production infrastructure, can you go and put prod here? Automatically, if I change the value once, it is going to change for multiple times or not. What I said here, block used to define the, once we define the value, we can use it for, here I am not changing the value every time. I'll change value only once. If it is the infrastructure for production, I'll put it as prod. If infra is for dev, I'll put here dev. That's what. Like this. Now, I'm going to give the commands. Terraform. Oh, 1 second. CIDR unsupported argument. 1 second. Tags is not okay, wait. VIM main.tf. Here also, a block definition must be in a block content delimited by okay. Starting in the same line the blocker header. Okay, fine. Here, first of all, I need to provide some space to this one. That is the issue. Okay. Sorry. Here I forgot to open one bracket. That's the issue. Closed, open, closed. Tags. Tags is also fine. Here also fine. At the last is the tags fine here. There is closing brace. Yes. Seems fine. Next, Terraform plan. You can also use validate. Terraform validate is to check the syntax errors, right? If there is any errors on syntax level, definitely it is going to check. Even spelling mistakes also. I intentionally made one mistake. Availability on spelling is wrong. I know it. Why I made wrong means to show you the Terraform validate command. Whenever you give syntax mistakes or even the spelling mistakes, is it correcting or not, sir? So here availability spelling is wrong. I know. There is one small mistake. Here it is telling that did you in availability zone. That means you wrote this one, but it is not correct. Do you want to write this one? Yes, I want to write that one. So go here and change the availability zone spelling. What is the purpose of Terraform validate? Check the syntax as well as check the spellings inside the configuration file. That is what you can call as keywords. Oh, wait. Here also I need to remove this one. I need to give 0 only. It's enough. Done now. So Terraform plan is optional for you know, but even like better to run. Is it done, sir? How many users are going to create there? Finally, Terraform hyphen auto approve. Is it going or not? First of all, VPC created on within 0 seconds, less than 1 second. Subnet created on how Spirit is said. Same thing if you want to do it on like a Geo, it will take some time, right? But here, no need to waste the time. Done, sir? Fine. So now here, what I'm gonna do is just to give availability there, like public or private, depends upon your choice. So now if you go and see Terraform state list, can you see this one? Now go for GUI verification. It's my GUI. Click on refresh. The CLI is not required for me, no? So I'll remove it first of all for your clarity. CLI is for my last class, so I'm gonna remove this one. Keep refreshing upon. So now click on dev. Sir, dev server is created on currently which VPC and which availability zone? I mean, which subnet? Correct or not, sir? And availability zone I have given as AP South 1B or 1A. The AP South 1B is for Terraform here. This is for, that means I have given the values accurately or not, sir? Is the connection clear for you, like how it is connecting for each and every component? We need to define the value. Block label, we need to give and dot ID. Blocks and ID are the connection parts for the Terraform resources. Sir, next, for example, if I want to create the testing infrastructure, what I will do? I'll go here and instead of dev, can I put test now? Automatically, values are going to change from dev to test. Just give Terraform apply. Now go and see here, automatically changes is going to reflect it. Remember, whenever if you see plus symbol, plus means it is creating. Minus means automatically deleting. But whenever you see the tilde symbol, that is what you can call as Terraform update. That means Terraform is updating the values. Previous value is dev VPC, but what is the new value? Previous subnet is dev subnet, but now previous instance is, but now it is, whenever you are seeing tilde symbol means update. Now if you go and see, keep this refresh, dev server becomes test servers. Currently test is on which VPC? 1 second, let me refresh. Why? Because this is the last tab only. Let me refresh and I'll show you. Go for test networking. Inside networking, now you can see the test VPC. Subnet is, sir, instead of changing the values multiple times, where I changed the value? Once I change the local block, automatically values are replicating or not, sir? That is the value of local block. Whenever you define a value in local block, it is going to keep changing. No matter which value you declare and how many values you can declare, it will keep changing always. That means instead of changing multiple values, I'm gonna trying to show you like we can change only one value. That is going to replicate to the other values. Clear or not, sir? So this is about the Terraform locals concept. Which concept? Is Terraform locals concept clear for all of you? Everyone. All and what about you? Is Terraform locals clear for all of you? Can you please confirm me on chat once? Sorry? Okay. We can lock it. Oh, okay. No. Basically, same file you can use or you can modify it. Like what I'm telling is instead of creating infrastructure with different files, what you can do is you can create one single main.tf whenever you want to change any kind of configuration, change the values. That's what I'm going to show you. Like there is a concept called workspace. There you can understand like what exactly I'm going to teach you. Okay, fine. First of all, local concept is clear. That's great to hear. Fine. So now if I want to ask you one thing, first of all, I create infra for dev. Later, when I rename the in local block dev to test, dev gone and test came or not, sir? Later, I'll create production. Testing will be gone or not, sir? Then what is the use of creating the infrastructure with Terraform? Correct or not? I change the value, servers are going to rename. VPCs are going to be, everything is going to rename it, right? So if it keeps going upon, what's the reason behind using Terraform means nothing. There is a concept called Terraform Workspace. What is the name of the concept? Guys, Terraform Workspace is a kind of concept. How it is going to work means it is going to create isolation for each and every environment. If you remember, we have seen namespace concept or not in Kubernetes. What namespace taught us? What namespace taught us? Namespace is for isolating the cluster. For example, developing people work on developing namespace only. They cannot able to see the testing pods. Testing people will work on. That means we are isolating or not, sir? Here also, in real time, if you want to create the infrastructure, you will create the name a workspace. That workspace is going to isolate your resource. For example, if I create dev workspace, I'll create dev resource. That will keep going like that. It won't affect anything. Then if I want to creating testing infrastructure, what I'll do is I'll create the test workspace and I'll write the code there. Writing means reusing the same code. No need to write one more code. I can reuse. I'll show you like how practical it is going to implement. First of all, let me draw the diagram. In the meanwhile, I'm destroying these resources. See. Sir, understand the concept here. Oh, sorry. What's happening? For example, let's see. It is my developing infrastructure. For example, let's say this is my dev environment. Which environment? Sir, in dev environment, for example, name I want as dev server. Which server? What's the name here? Dev server. Next here, instance type. I want T2 micro. What I want? T2. Next, availability zone. I want it on AP South 1A. Where I want, sir? Sir, same like I want to create the testing infrastructure as well. So what I'll do is, I'll draw one more. This is one more environment here actually. Name of the environment is testing environment. I mean like testing. Name I want as test server. Type, which type I want now? T2, medium I want at least. Availability zone, I want it as AP South 1B. Where I want? AP South 1B. Same like in future, I want to create production or not, sir? It is my production. Let's consider this my prod. So name is going to be prod server. So this time instance type I want like this. T2 large. What I want? So I want the availability zone on AP South. Let's consider our requirement is like this. Sir, developing infrastructure I want to create. Testing infrastructure I want to create. Production also I want to create. Correct or not, sir? Generally, what we have done, if I create developing resource, then later if I go for testing, developing is going. Developing is vanishing or not, sir? Then later if I create testing, future if I go for production, testing is vanishing or not, sir? but it is not going to happen. Why? Because here we are implementing the concept called workspace. Which space? So whenever I implement the workspace concept, whatever the resource I'll create is staying upon this workspace only. If I want to create the developing infra, I'll create dev workspace. If I want to create testing infra, I'll create testing workspace. Then later, if I want to create production, I'll create the production infra. So now what exactly is going to happen, So I'll teach about workspace, like what exactly workspace and how it is going to useful means I'll teach you. But before that, let me give the code for you. This is the code. In today's, our entire class is going to be running on this code only. No new code I'll use. Same code I'll use for concepts. Now Terraform workspace. What is exactly, first of all, what is the meaning of workspace? Place where we write the code. Okay. Workspace means where we write the code and execute operations. And execute. That is what you call as in general workspace, where you write the code and where you perform the operation. Perform or execute anything is fine. So Terraform workspace, it is used to isolate the environments. Isolate the it is used to isolate the environments. So if I create developing environment, it won't affect the testing environment. If I create testing environment, it won't affect the production environment. It is to isolate. Isolate means what? Keep separating. Correct or not, sir? In real time, all the works we do on workspace concept. Workspace only, like simply workspaces only. If we perform an operation on dev workspace, on dev node, like on one workspace, it won't affect another workspace. That means if I perform an operation on dev workspace, it is going to stay there only. It won't affect any other workspace. So simply workspace is to isolate the environments. Whenever I write the code, I execute any kind of operation, it is not going to affect to other environments. So what I'll do now is I'll create the workspaces now. So the comments I'm going to show you is already I have the comments. Don't worry about the comments. First of all, what I'll do is already previous class notes I have, like instead of writing the notes, I'm going to use the same code for you. Why? Because this theory, everything I need to write right. There is some note points as well. Note points I'll describe you later. Don't worry about the note points. No. First of all, sir, if I want to see the workspaces, command is Terraform workspace list. It is going to show the list of workspaces. Currently, what is the workspace here? It is a default workspace. If I want to create a new workspace, Terraform workspace, new, developing. Created and switched to dev workspace. There is a command called Terraform list, Currently, star is for which workspace, sir? That means currently we are on which workspace? For example, if you have 10 workspaces, if you give Terraform list, what is the workspace having star? That is going to be your current workspace. Sir, I don't want to see like that. I want directly my workspace name only. Terraform workspace, show. Terraform workspace list means shows all the list and will show the star symbol for your current. But show is not like that. Directly will bring the workspace name. Fine. So then here what I'm going to do is, currently I'm on dev workspace, right? So I'll create the developing infrastructure. But before that, I'll tell you one more high level concept, AMI.tf. Sir, currently we're on which workspace? Later I will go for. That means this environment variable is changing or not, sir? It means multiple times I want to change the value. I don't change like this. I'll take value like this dollar Terraform dot workspace. What is my current workspace? So value is going to be dev now. In future, if I go for testing workspace, value is going to be now test. In future, if I go for production, this value is going to become. That means, do I need to change the environment values now? Wherever I go, on which environment I have now currently, that value is going to store on this env. Directly, I'm picking the value from local.env or not, sir. For example, currently I'm on which workspace? Dev workspace. So this value is going to be now. If it is dev now, this value is dev VPC. This value is later I'll switch for test. Now this value become test. This value is test VPC, test subnet, test server. I'll show it practically for you. So guys, same code here, but I am automating the things with the help of variables here. Like every time, if I want to change the name of the environment, it is going to take some time, right? Instead of that one, I'm putting some direct variable. Now give the command Terraform, apply. Currently, which infrastructure is creating? Dev infrastructure is creating. For dev infrastructure, name must be dev server, T2 micro, AP South, 1. Go and check whether these properties are running or not. Click on refresh. Currently, which server it is? Availability zone, instance type. Now I create the developing infrastructure, sir. Later I want to create which infra? If I create test infra, this developing need to be safe and secure or not, sir? That means I'll create one more workspace. If I create one more workspace, is current resource going to affect now? Then how to create one more workspace? Terraform, workspace, new, test. Sir, but before that, I'll show you this command, Terraform state list. Are you seeing resource here? If I go and give Terraform, workspace, new, test. If I go and give Terraform state list, you won't see anything here. Why? Because in this workspace, have I create any infra or any resource? It is fresh and clean workspace. Now what I'll do? What is my specification? I'll open main.tf. Oh, sorry. In main.tf, sir, my availability zone must be AP South 1B for testing. And what is the instance type here? T2? Medium. That's it, sir. I'm not changing the environment. Why? Because it is picking the current workspace. Now go and give Terraform apply command. The moment if I give Terraform apply command, it won't affect the developing infrastructure now. See. VPC done. Test VPC. Which subnet? And again which server? How it is taking the values from my current workspace name. Is it done, sir? No? So the moment if I go and if I click on refresh, you can see testing server. Sir, is this affecting my developing resources? Click on testing server. Testing server is having which instance type, which availability zone. And if you go and see, testing server is on which VPC now and on which subnet. That means here it is not going to affect my developing resources and developing workspace. Why? Because workspace is to isolate. Is isolating my resources or not, sir? Then future, what I'll create now? Production. If I want to create production, separate infrastructure, first of all, I need to create separate. What is the command to create workspace? Terraform workspace, new, and workspace name is prod. Now I can change my files here. What is my configuration? I want it on episode 1. C. And instance type T2. Always the name is going to be prod server only. T2 large. Keep on apply. Now again, oh, 1 second. Here, one more thing, guys. Episode 1C is not going to support all the instance types here. That is one of the limitation, especially for Mumbai. So I'll try to give T2 micro only. Why? Because it doesn't support some instance types here. So I'm just changing the value. Okay. I don't think so. Like it is going to support. Yeah. There is some issue with AP South 1C region. If you see, it is telling that AP South 1C is not supported. Choose 1A or 1B. I'll go for 1A again. That's up to my choice, right? Why? Because here in this region, it is not supported. I'll go and I'll give AP South 1A again. 1C is not working. So I'll give 1A and I can give large now. Guys, that's a region issue, not our Terraform issue, okay? Is it creating now? Other subnet is already created on episode 1C, right? I modified now. That means it will delete the 1C and it will create 1A. Now go in, click on refresh once, you will get the production server. Seeing prod server. Prod server is having T2 large or not, sir? I taken 1A. Why? Because 1C is not available here. And coming to networking, which VPC? Which subnet? That means this workspace, whenever I want to install or like I want to deploy a fresh resource, like fresh infrastructure, can I use workspace concept now? This is the concept of Terraform workspace. Guys, remember in interview, it is going to be the very first question. Do you know about workspace? Why? Because entire Terraform, what you are learning here, you need to implement this one workspace only. That means first of all, you need to have the concept of workspace. Without workspace, you cannot learn anything. Now, okay, like teaching of workspace is very, very easy. But when it comes to workspace, you need to have some analysis. There are majorly 3 node points. What are the node point means? Node point number 1. We can't delete the current workspace. We can't delete the current. If we go and see now, currently I'm on which workspace? Terraform workspace show. Currently we're on which workspace? Terraform workspace delete prod. Practically proven. You cannot delete the current active workspace. That means you are in production, you cannot delete it. But sir, I'm not on testing workspace. Now, can I delete test? You can't. What is telling here? Workspace is. That means point number 2. We can't delete our workspace without deleting the resource. That means already testing is having some resource or not, sir? Testing workspace. Without deleting the workspace resources, you cannot delete the workspace. Point number 2. Can't delete the current workspace. Again, can't delete the workspace without deleting the. And third one is default workspace. Also, we cannot delete. So it is not possible. Our default workspace is default only, but we cannot delete the default workspace. Apart from that, you can delete any kind of workspace. So then how to delete the workspace means, first of all, try to destroy the resources. I'm destroying the resources. Currently, I'm destroying the production resources. Why? Because I'm on production workspace. And Saturday, I'm gonna take the session for 2 hours mostly. First 1 hour is project, and like last 1 hour is career guidance, everything. Why? Because I'm trying to finish it on Saturday. Why? Because again, coming on Monday means very hectic for you, right? So instead of coming Monday, like I'm trying to take. Why? Because it is theoretical only, right? So I'm trying to finish it on like mostly Saturday. Fine. Is it clear now? Sir, if you go and see, if you click on refresh, your production server is not going to be appear now. Is your prod server gone now? Why it's gone? We deleted the resources. Now, if I want to delete the production workspace, first of all, I need to go to another workspace. How to go to another workspace means there is a command called Terraform select command. Which command? Terraform select command is to switch between the workspace. Currently, I'm on production. I want to go to test now. Terraform workspace select means it is going to take us to test. Now give Terraform workspace delete prod. Is prod gone or not? For verification, Terraform workspace. Are you seeing prod anywhere here? No. Now I want to delete the testing workspace. First of all, I'll run Terraform destroy command. Which command? If I run Terraform destroy command, it is going to remove all the resources on my workspace. Then I'll go to dev, I delete the test. Now developing resources are gone. So I'll go to, sorry, testing resources are gone. I'll go to developing infra. I mean like developing workspace. Tell me the command to switch between workspaces. Terraform workspace, select, then dev. Now I'll go to dev and I give Terraform workspace. Gone or not, sir? Now I'll give the command Terraform workspace select. Let me say Terraform workspace delete. And I'll run Terraform workspace. Terraform destroy command I'll run. Then I can delete the developing or not, sir. But before that, I'll tell one command for you. Currently, you can see resources, correct or not, sir? I'll tell one command for you. Terraform graph command. Which command? Terraform graph command is to show you the blueprint of your infrastructure. Showing the blueprint or not, sir? Showing or not? First of all, you create VPC. After VPC, what you create? After you create? For instance, what is the label? AWS instance? Correct or not, sir? But if you understand like this, you will get nothing. For that purpose, copy the content and go to internet. Just to type graph is online. What it is? Graph is online. Type here, copy and paste the content here. Just click on this one. Are you seeing the flow chart now? Try to download. Why? Because I will show you the maximization for it. First of all, sir, you created AWS VPC. What you created? But to create the AWS VPC, we use local block env or not, sir? And again, we got the provider plugins from HashiCorp AWS. Inside this VPC, what I created and what I attached? AWS subnet with label name. Again, these values I have taken from local env. In this subnet, what I create again? For instance, provider came from HashiCorp AWS and values came from local.env. Can I able to see the diagrammatical infrastructure or not, sir, here? You create the infra, but you don't know which resource is allocated for which provider and which resource is conducted for which other region. So in that case, it is going to be helpful or not, sir? So this is what Terraform graph command is going to teach us. Terraform graph command is going to show the blueprint of your infrastructure. What it is going to show? Blueprint. Is the blueprint clear for you, like how to understand the blueprint and how to work on it? So this is about Terraform workspace and locals. So before I proceed, is the workspace and local clear for all of you? Sure. Online, what about you? Guys, is very, very important. That's the reason I have take this many examples. I would like to get response from all of you online, guys. Is the workspace concept clear for all of you? Fine. So Terraform workspace done, Terraform locals done, and Terraform graph also done. Fine, no? Where is Terraform graph command? So next here, I'm going to teach you the concept of alias and providers. Which concept it is? Where is the graph here? Let me find. So these concepts are like nearby only. Fine. So next I'm going to talk about alias and providers. Sir, what exactly the meaning of alias and providers means? I'll ask you one question. Currently, you are creating resource on how many regions at a time? At a time, how many resources you are creating on single region? Like we can create n number of resources on single region. But my question is, with the help of one main.tf file, I can create resource on both regions. I can create resource on, for example, let's consider I want to create a server on Mumbai. Same time I want to create server on Northern Virginia or like California, wherever I want. In that case, I can use the concept called alias and providers. Which concept I can use? So, like first of all, to explain this concept, you need to understand only how to create EC2 instance. You know the code of EC2 instance, right? If you know the code of EC2 instance, then concept is going to be very easy. vim main.tf. Just remove all of them. Huh? Fine. Sir, this is the code for my, let's have this one. For example, to make you understand more, it is my Mumbai server. Which server? I'll copy the same content. I'll do nothing here. I'll copy the same content and like I'm going to paste it here. So this is my, for example, let's take one more region. Tokyo is my one more region. Which region? Tokyo. What is the code for Tokyo? Go here. Search for here. What is the code for Tokyo, sir? AP Northeast one. What is the code? And for Tokyo also, we need to get the AMI ID or not. Why? Because for region to region, the AMI ID is going to be differ. I am going to here, going for AMI catalog. Select one AMI. For example, I am selecting this AMI ID. So give it here. And one more thing here, subnet I don't want. For example, let's take it as 4. Okay. And here region, I need to give AP Northeast. No, basically we need to define. It's not possible. If you want to pass the values like that, you can create a file. In that file, you can take the values. Like instead of doing that one, you can create a file. In that file, put all the AMIs according to the region. Now you can call that well. That's possible. But we don't do that usually. No, 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 no. Basically, I never heard about these kind of scenarios, but even that is not going to try, like we will not try these kind of things in real time also. Why? Because like for a region, like what are the question you asked is correct question only. But tell me one thing, for a region, how many AMS we have? Lots of AMA. In that particular, like how can you pick only one value? Oh. Hmm. You want only AMA IDs? Then you can do it on CLI. In CLI, we can able to list it out. Okay, fine. So here I have given this one, sir. But I'll ask you one question here. First provider block is for first resource block. Second provider block is for I need to establish this connection. How I'm going to establish means I'll take one alias here. What I'll take? Alias is equal to I'm going to take the name as Tokyo. What is the name I'm going to take here? And I am telling to my resource block, take the provider. Select the provider where you are seeing the name Tokyo. AWS dot Tokyo. What I'm telling here, AWS dot Tokyo. And one more thing here, double quotes are going to be very crucial here. Whenever I explain this one, right? Are you seeing double quotes here? Here you need to put, but here it is not required. So this one I'm giving it here and not there. So I'm taking alias. Why? First of all, like what is the meaning of alias? Another name, right? I am defining one alias Tokyo. That means this provider block nickname is Tokyo. I am telling to my resource block, grow for the provider block, which is having AWS Tokyo. That means this resource block is going to refer this provider block only. If you don't define this one now, your provider block must be in confused state with resource block. Why? Because here I have two resource block and two providers. I need to give clarity or not, sir. You need to attach for only this particular resource only. It's like, for example, you came to demo. You have seen DevOps demo on first floor and DevOps demo on second floor, but there is no faculty name. Instead of coming for my class, if you go for other class, you'll be confused or not, sir? Same like here. So now give this one Terraform apply command. Which command? Now directly it is going to create two servers on two different regions. Oh, 1 second. Subnet ID is not required. Here I forgot to remove this one. Why? Because I am not defining the subnets, right? So remove this one. Now check, it is going to create two different regions. How many are created here? First server, I am going to check on Tokyo region. Currently, I am on Tokyo region only, right? Seeing Tokyo server. Second region is second region, Hyderabad. Currently, you are on Mumbai. You can see Mumbai server here. Seeing Mumbai server or not, sir? If you want one more region also, write one more provider block, write one more region block, give alias and providers there. Same like this one. So like this, you can write n number of provider blocks and n number of resource block and connect them with alias and providers. How to connect with them, guys? So this is the concept of alias and providers. My first question, what is the purpose of using alias and providers? To create, sorry, multiple. Yes, to create different resources on different regions with the help of same file. Here am I using same file or different file? Same file. This is the alias and providers. Sorry? One time only we can? Uh, no. For each provider in block, you need to put alias and providers. For example, here I have two. Only one is enough. Already one, it will take by default. You know, like that. If I have three now, define only two. Third one will take automatically. For example, you will go to shopping mall. You have two chocolates. If you take one chocolate, automatically if you need to take second chocolate, right? You don't have any option now. Here also same thing is going to follow. No, no. Whenever you create three, define two. Okay. So this is the concept. So, and one more thing, like how's your holidays went? I given 4 days of holidays, right? Of course, one Sunday too. Golden cows, huh? Hey, మంచి ఫ్యూచర్ ఉంది. Oh, me. Yeah. Okay, phobia. Fine. So is it enough for today or like can I continue for one or two topics? Enough means I'll stop here. Why? Because I'm completely customized. I said right in the day one only. How much you are able to listen, much only I'll teach. I don't want to make you rush. How much you are comfortable, listen that much only. Even if you take two more additional days, it's not going to be cost me, right? Mm. Uh, mm. Exactly. Mm. Definitely. Mm. No, basically, once you define like how Terraform is going to work means it doesn't matter in which file you define the variables. Your block name should be matched there. That's up to completely your choice. Only one thing about Terraform is it doesn't matter where you mentioned your variables. You can mention on same file, you can mention on separate file. That doesn't matter. The only matter is the block names matching or not. If I give availability zone or if I give instance type is equal to var dot instance type, their var dot instance type must be matched. If I don't give that var dot instance type, now it is not going to pick the value. That's it. Kiran, continue. Eh? So Kiran, like when you are going to come, we are missing you, man. Here, even a lot of people are asking here, where is Kiran and where is Kiran? Fans, die-hard fans. Huh? Hmm. Can I talk you tomorrow? Come to offline tomorrow. So then, still any questions or any queries you are having regarding Terraform, or like anything, you can ask me freely. What's your repo name? This one, right? Wait, Terraform. Today we define locals, workspace, and alias and providers. Only these three topics. And Terraform graph too.